Children's Stories by Margot Foley. It was a tiger that ate the ginger biscuits.
Jane! What happened to the ginger biscuits? I just took them out of the oven an hour ago and now they're all gone.
Yes, Mommy? It was horrible. I tried to help, but I was afraid the tiger would eat me too.
A tiger? What tiger, Jane?
Well, Mom, I was sitting at the table doing my homework, and I heard this growling noise. I looked in the kitchen, and there was this huge tiger with sharp teeth that were 6 inches long. He was looking at the ginger biscuits on the counter. I tried to stop him, Mom. I shouted, "Go away!" but he ignored me. The next thing I knew, he jumped onto the counter and ate all the biscuits. When he finished, he licked his lips and ran out the back door. It was scary, Mom. I thought he might eat me too.
Oh, I see. A huge tiger with long, sharp teeth ate all the biscuits, did he? Are you sure about that? Are you sure it wasn't you who ate them all, Jane?
No, Mom. It wasn't me. It was the tiger.
Jane, you shouldn't tell stories like that.
Jake rubbed his tummy. He had eaten too many biscuits and wasn't feeling very well. He went outside and played on the swings in his back garden. He didn't feel like swinging for long, though he soon got fed up. He picked the swing up in his hands and threw it as hard as he could. It swung up and over the top bar and soon wound itself tightly. Just then his mom came out to see what he was doing.
Jane, what happened to the swing? How did it get wrapped around the top pole like that?
Mom, you won't believe this.
Was it the tiger again, Jane?
No, Mom. It was a tornado.
A tornado? In Scotland?
Yes, Mom. A tornado. I came out the back door and there was a big black cloud above our house. Suddenly, the wind blew and this tornado came down from the sky. It landed on the swing set and twirled the swing onto the pole.
Oh, it did? I see. Jane, there can't be tornadoes in Scotland. You shouldn't tell stories like that, Jane.
She warned and then went back inside to make lunch. Jane climbed on the swing and tried to unwind it, but it was too tangled and all snagged. Her dad would have to fix it later that night. Her friend Gemma came running into the back garden.
Jane, can we play?
Hello, Gemma. Sure, I can play. Do you want to go to your house or stay here?
Let's stay here for a while and then go to my house. Can we play with your toy trucks?
Jane went inside and gathered up her trucks. She carried them outside and the girls sat on the grass and played. Gemma was driving a cement truck around, having fun. Jane played with the tractor. After a few minutes, she was bored and threw the tractor as hard as she could. It went flying across the grass and right into the kitchen window. Gemma looked up as the window broke into a million pieces.
Jane, what happened?
Jane's mom came running out of the house.
Who threw the tractor at the window? I was peeling potatoes and glass came flying all over me. I could have been badly cut and so could you have two girls. Jane, who threw the truck?
Gemma stood up holding the cement truck. Jane looked at her and then at her mom. Mom, I was playing trucks with Gemma and this huge gorilla came running into the back garden. It was big and hairy and had long arms, and sharp teeth. Gemma didn't see him, as he was turned the wrong way. I was too scared to scream. The gorilla pulled the tractor out of my hand and threw it at the window.
Wow, I wish I'd seen it. I didn't even hear it breathe.
Jane, are you trying to tell me that a gorilla broke the kitchen window? Where is it now?
It ran into Mrs. McCurdy's back garden, Mom.
Jane, you shouldn't tell stories like that.
Her mom said and went into the house. She swept up the glass and called someone to come and replace it. Gemma went back home. When Jane's dad came home, he was very angry. He didn't believe the story about the gorilla or any of Jane's other stories he told that day. He went into her daughter's bedroom and said,
Jane, you're telling a lot of stories today. Why don't you just tell the truth and tell your mom that you ate the cookies and twisted the swing and threw the tractor? It's not good to tell lies. People won't believe anything you say.
Jane looked at her dad and frowned. It was a tiger that ate the ginger biscuits. It was a tornado and it was a gorilla. She knew she was telling stories and felt bad inside for doing it.
Jane, one day you're going to have something happen to you, and when you tell people, they're not going to believe you. You'll not like that when it happens.
The next morning, Jane ate her breakfast. Her mom fixed her bacon, fried eggs, fried tomatoes, and toast. When she finished, she went outside to play. She rode her bicycle up and down the street. She was in front of Mrs. McCurdy's house when a small car
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
drove by. Jane wouldn't believe what she was saying. Beep, beep. There were two clowns in the back seat, and the driver was a man, dressed up in a pink ballerina outfit. The car crashed into Mrs. McCurdy's car that was parked in front of her house. They didn't stop or get out of the car. They drove away quickly. Jane rode her bicycle over to her car and stood there looking at the bashed-in car. Mrs. McCurdy had heard the smashing sound. She came running outside.
Jane, what did you do to my car? You crushed your bicycle into it and bashed it all in. I'm going to tell your mom and dad about this,
she said and ran over to Jane's house. Her mom and dad came over to see what had happened.
Jane, what did you do to Mrs. McCurdy's car?
I didn't do it, Dad. It was a small white car with 3 people in it. They drove into her car and smashed it up and then drove away.
It looks like she did it with her bicycle.
Tell me what the men looked like.
There were 2 men dressed up like clowns in the back seat. At least I thought they were men. They could have been women. The driver was a man wearing a pink ballerina outfit. I could tell it was a man as he needed a shave.
Jane, that's enough. No more stories, no more lies. You go to your room right now. You are not allowed to ride your bicycle for 2 months.
Jane whined. But Dad, I'm telling the truth. It was a ballerina man.
Go to your room right now.
Jane's mom and dad paid for Mrs. McCurdy's car to be fixed. That night, her mom came into Jane's bedroom.
Sweetie, you have to stop lying. You caused a lot of damage of her car.
But Mom, I am telling the truth. You've got to believe me. Jane's mom had a feeling that The lad was telling the truth this time.
Jane, I believe you, but it's hard to. You've told so many stories that I have a hard time believing anything you say. Do you promise to stop telling stories and lies and tell the truth from now on?
Yes, Mom. I am really, really, really sorry. I did eat the ginger biscuit, and I did throw my tractor through the window, and I did twist the swing, but I promise that I didn't smash Mrs. Curtis' car. From then on, James never told another story or lie. When she did something wrong, she told the truth. Soon, her mom and dad believed her when she said things. It's much better to tell the truth than to tell big lies. And that is the end of the story.